Hey y'all, Jesus here. Have any of you ever found a content creator that you just can't get enough of? I know I certainly have on many occasions, and it's a one-of-a-kind feeling. In fact, I want you to picture this for a moment. You've just come across a brand new YouTuber whose videos you've never seen before, and they look sufficiently intriguing to you, so logically you click on one to see whether or not you like it. Fortunately enough, you end up thoroughly enjoying it, so you watch another video and you like that one too. This process rinses and repeats until you've realized that you've watched far too many videos and your whole day was ultimately unproductive. However, despite that, it felt good since you had a blast watching all of these fantastic videos. The aforementioned is precisely what happened to me when I came across the Scott the Woz YouTube channel and actually decided to give his content a shot, since I had heard of him many times before, first watching his videos but just never bothered to give them a go, as I thought, oh great, another game reviewer, not like these kinds of videos are already a dime a dozen. But as it turns out, I ended up eating my words after realizing that Scott is not just another game reviewer. As a matter of fact, I'd even go as far to say that there's something very comforting about watching one of Scott's videos. He's like the comfort food of YouTube, except for the fact that he isn't food. Unless you're a cannibal, that is, in which case you're on the wrong site, buddy. So go check out the Cannibal Cafe instead, you goddamn weirdo. Regardless, the way that Scott can seamlessly blend comedy and analysis in his videos is superb, and I'd argue that it's the reason he can be labeled as YouTube's best gaming creator. However, as you can probably imagine, this took time to master, and as is evident in his earliest Scott the Woz videos, he wasn't very proficient in either of these areas. But that's to be expected, as no one is really good at anything they do when they first start doing it, and Scott is no exception. So now, with that being said, I think this is the perfect place to start the video off on, that being Scott's beginnings in content creation. Now, I'd like to preface this section of the video by saying that I am aware that Scott once had a channel called Wozniak News TV, on which he mostly made comedy sketches and the occasional gaming video, although I won't be covering it any further since Scott was very young when he made videos on this channel, and as a result, they were of relatively poor quality and not all that noteworthy. Nevertheless, the first 3 videos Scott uploaded to his current channel were utterly unrelated to the current style of content he makes. But despite that, they're still worth covering because they seemingly set the foundation for the sort of humor Scott currently uses in his videos. The first of which, uploaded on July 21st, 2016, was titled The Internet and You, and man, let me tell you, this is a kind of video that would be good to watch when you're high off your ass on the strongest of drugs. I say this because the video's premise certainly is a bizarre one, since it's just Scott along with a bunch of his friends exploring the different facets of the internet, and it all culminates in them destroying the deep web entirely, resulting in the death of everyone. That's what I could interpret, at least, as this video isn't exactly the easiest to piece together. Like, even the plot summary on the official page for this video on the Scott the Woz wiki simply says work in progress, so I guess the wiki admins or users couldn't figure out the plot either. Although if you happen to have a different interpretation, feel free to let me know in the comments. However, 2 things in this video that are very reminiscent of the content he now makes are the iconic censoring of curse words for comedic effect and the collaboration within real-life friends, as Scott isn't really known for collaborating with other content creators on this channel. It's also worth noting that Scott uploaded a video to his second channel, Scott Stash, on July 21st of this year, titled 5 Years of the Internet and You, to commemorate the 5th anniversary of the video. In addition, on that same day, Scott released 2 more videos relating to the Internet and You, one of which was a commentary on the video with Eric and Sam, 2 of the lads that appeared in the original video, and the other covered the VHS release of the video that took place back in November 2019. The point is that this video is very near and dear to Scott's boners, and rightfully so, as most people's first videos, and ones that are associated with precious memories, tend to have a special place in the content creator's erections. I mean, I know my first ever video, which was a Minecraft Let's Play, makes me especially hard. Nonetheless, the following video, titled First Time Vape Shop Visit Vlog, was uploaded on October 6, 2016. And this just so happens to be one of his most disliked videos of all time, since some viewers didn't understand that this was a satirical video. Not only this, but this was the first ever video in which the signature catchphrase we've all come to know and love, that being "Hey y'all, Scott here," was used. Similarly to the last video though, Scott can be seen collaborating with a few of his IRL friends, and as you can probably gather from the title, this video has a more easily understandable premise than the last. Although I'm shocked that some people didn't catch that this was a parody of the popular vlogs at that time, since I think that's made pretty obvious when watching it. I mean, just look at Scott. Does he look like an actual vapor? The answer is absolutely not, but maybe there's some alternate universe out there where Scott would be making vape reviews instead of game reviews. Who knows? Regardless, the last video he would upload before his first Scott the Woz video was titled A Tour of My Frat House, Alpha Menorah JavaScript, and Scott uploaded on November 21st, 2016. Contrary to his last two videos though, Scott was all alone in this video, that is if you don't count the guy he tackled at full speed and probably killed at the end of the video. God rest his soul, he will be missed dearly. Anyhow, since Scott was on his lonesome in this video, he had to pull his weight, and he sure as hell did. Throughout the whole video, he's essentially poking fun at fraternities and their stereotypes, the two most prominent ones being that they fuck a lot as well as drink excessively. He does this by littering the dorm with alcohol, which is actually non-alcoholic beer since Scott was underage at the time of recording, and condoms, which Scott obviously used to viciously fuck all of the women that came into his dorm, since I can tell just by looking at him that he's a fuck machine. Additionally, some other gags that I find worth noting are the Hangover Part 2 Wikipedia article on the wall, the condom in the keg, the beer me rope which damn near killed Scott, and lastly the name and logo of the fraternity. I find it hilarious how the frat logo doesn't even match up with the name, like that's not the JavaScript logo, that's the Java logo, or how the menorah isn't a menorah. The point is that it's those little details that Scott adds into his videos that genuinely make them something unique. And honestly, taking into account the fact that these were the first 3 public videos on his channel, they aren't half bad. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to call them works of art, but when comparing them to my first 3 videos, these are like Scorsese films. Anyways, following the upload of this sketch, Scott wouldn't upload the video until January 7th, 2017, a monumental date as it marked the first upload of the iconic Scott the Woz series we've all come to know and love, which we will now delve deeper into. For those unaware, similarly to a TV show, Scott breaks his series up into seasons, and currently, as of the time I'm writing this, he's on season 5. However, honing in on the first season of the series, the first episode titled Nintendo Switch Wishlist was uploaded on January 7th, 2017, as aforementioned. Now, as you can expect, since this was the first episode, it's incomparable to his latest works in every single aspect. It very much felt like Scott was testing the waters with this video to see whether or not this was something he wanted to pursue. I say this because a lot of what's seen in his current videos lacks in this one. For instance, the humor felt rather lackluster, the editing was serviceable at best, and there were no skits with friends integrated into this video. Now please don't take all that the wrong way though, of course I'm not saying it to shit on Scott. I obviously understand one's first video can't exactly be considered their magnum opus, and he was clearly still working out the kinks to form his one-of-a-kind style we all know him for nowadays. But one thing that was present from the very beginning was the emblematic blue border, which was considerably larger back then than it is now, and this is something that ties back into my earlier point of Scott paying an incredible amount of attention to the most minute of details. The blue border and the color blue in general is something that still permeates his channel to this day, as it's become a quintessential part of the channel's brand. It's irreplaceable. Hell, the man even went as far as to make a whole hour-long extravaganza titled Borderline Forever, which is all about the blue border used in his videos. And that alone should tell you how significant it really is to the channel. Regardless, shortly after he uploaded the first video, Scott decided to commit himself fully to this series, as he would begin to upload a new video every Sunday night. Starting with the video upload on January 29th, 2017, titled History of Smash Bros. Rumors and Leaks. This was a decision that would prove to be immensely fruitful, as consistency is key to YouTube success. And bear in mind that Scott still follows the schedule to this day, with occasional delay here or there. I don't use the word occasional lightly either. This dude is a grind machine. He hardly misses an upload, so props to him for maintaining such a strong work ethic. Albeit, he has recently stated on his Twitter that as his standards for each video keep rising, maintaining this schedule becomes less and less feasible, and as a result, he may have to make a new upload schedule for 2022, so we'll just have to wait and see what comes of that. Nonetheless, along with that consistency, apart from success, came the tremendous improvement of Scott's content. Slowly but surely, every facet of his content improved. From the audio quality to the humor, everything got better. I think this started to become noticeable throughout the 50 episodes of the series in the first season, but it became even more evident in season 2, where the production value of Scott's videos went up tenfold, especially after he moved out of his parents' house into his own apartment, which allowed him to make a bomb-ass set to film his videos in. Although, as expected, seasons 3, 4, and 5 are his best, with the 5th season being the peak of his content thus far, as it happens to be the ongoing season. It will continue to be until season 6 drops, which as of the time I'm writing this seems to be pretty far off in the future, since the 5th season only has 21 episodes in it. Each one caps off at about 45 or 50, so season 6 will probably start sometime in mid to late 2022 if I had to take a guess. And while that's still a long time to wait, I'm eagerly anticipating it. But for now, we can kick back, relax, and enjoy the remainder of season 5. Nevertheless, the beauty of Scott's content is that the formula remains largely unchanged, with the only real difference being the improvements made over time. As aforementioned, Scott is always looking to improve his content more than he already has, even if that means sacrificing the current upload schedule. I have to admit that's more than admirable, as most content creators seem to get complacent with their content at some point or another. This is because these creators know that viewers will still watch their videos regardless of the amount of effort they put into them. However, on the other hand, it seems like it's utterly impossible to make Scott complacent with his content, which is fantastic. Aside from that, something else that's truly magical about Scott's content is the wide range of topics he covers. Seriously, it feels like nothing is off limits when it comes to his channel, and this is something that feels ever so lacking in the YouTube space. So with that being said, let's explore this further. Scott's channel is home to a plethora of video topics, ranging from game packaging all the way to backwards compatibility. It would seem as if Scott has no barriers when selecting a video topic. Anything and everything is on the table. However, Nintendo is a recurring theme on the channel, but it's not like Scott devotes his entire channel to solely covering anything Nintendo related and nothing else. He's not a Nintendotuber, if that's what you'd call them. This variety in content allows his videos to have a broad appeal, and is in part one of the main attractors for his channel, for me at least. The charm of this is the unpredictability of Scott's next upload, since he rarely teases his next video, unless it happens to be a massive project such as the aforementioned Borderline Forever. With that being said though, as you can expect, this leaves viewers foaming out their mouths and itching their necks like a drug addict who hasn't gotten their fix, in eager anticipation of what Scott is currently working on. This strategy undeniably keeps viewers coming back to the channel to see what new brilliant projects Scott has released into the online world. Of course, most videos are expectedly video game centric. However, what's interesting is how Scott tackles each topic in its own unique way, and as well as the rather particular topics he chooses to cover at times. For instance, the Game Stores video, which just so happens to be his channel trailer, is the perfect example of this. The topic is an interesting one to analyze, since what kind of sick fuck thinks to themselves, man, I really want to watch a guy in his 20s talk about game stores for 12 minutes straight. I do. I'm that sick fuck. Guilty as charged. And well, the other 4,728,219 sick fucks that watch this video too. Can't forget about them. But on a real note, there's no other video like this on YouTube, and the same can be said about a lot of Scott's other videos. This, in combination with the humor used in his content and the rather laid-back approach that Scott takes when it comes to analysis, makes his channel stick out like a sore thumb amongst a sea of other gaming creators. You know that when you sit down to watch one of Scott's videos, you're in for about 10 to 30 minutes of edutainment about a potentially niche topic that Scott will get you interested in, even if you're not familiar with it or don't care about it. Albeit, that's not to say that Scott sometimes won't do long analysis videos, because he does do them on occasion. For example, the Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, a critical third look video, is an hour-long video in which Scott analyzes Super Mario 3D World for the third time on the channel, as well as the accompanying DLC, Bowser's Fury, that came out earlier this year. The best part about it is that Scott had my full and undivided attention throughout that hour, a feat that's hard to accomplish considering everyone has a 5-second attention span nowadays. But that's what makes his content marvelous. Unlike others who make similar content, Scott knows how to retain the viewer's attention for an extended amount of time. It often feels like other creators who make analytical gaming content tend to bombard the viewer with information in a rather indigestible way. Maybe that's just my interpretation though, feel free to let me know what you think. However, Scott's content doesn't feel that way. In fact, it feels like the complete opposite. While an hour is a considerable amount of time for a video about a Mario game, Scott makes it feel like half the length at most, because he knows how to write in an easily processable way. It doesn't feel like information overload. Plus, his writing style feels very casual, so these long analysis videos don't feel overly analytical. You're not watching a Joseph Anderson video, for instance. Not throwing shade at him or anything, he makes excellent videos that clearly have an audience, but you can't deny that the primary focus of his content is on creating a profound analysis, hence why he won't upload for months or years at a time. Whereas Scott isn't looking to be deep, but he's not looking to be vague either. I'd say he's right down the middle, a perfect balance of sorts, and one that certainly isn't easy to achieve. Regardless, on occasion, Scott will also make these really short videos intended to be purely comedic. A recent example of this is the Game Bath video, in which Scott looks at different gaming-related bath products, such as the Space Invaders soap bar and the Mario Bath Time golf set. I can only imagine what kind of severely mentally ill people would purchase the golf set. Like, why in the hell would you want to play golf in the bath? You might as well use your damn soap-covered wiener as the club at that point. Anyhow, as I was scrolling through the comments section of this video, there was a comment that that stood out to me from a user named the One Gray No San, in which they said, "My guy poured an entire bag of dog food on himself, wore wet clothing, covered himself with straw, used his precious gamer soap, and took a bath just for a 3-minute video." That is dedication. I agree, that is indeed dedication, and again, it all comes full circle, baby. As we've learned, Scott is a very detail-oriented person, and even in a video as short as this one, he pulled out all the stops as he usually does. You'd expect a video as short as this one to be low effort, but it simply isn't. Granted, you obviously can't compare it to the longer videos on Scott's channel, since those naturally take more time and effort to produce due to their longer durations, but still, Scott could have easily half-assed this video and deliberately chose not to because he won't settle for mediocrity, and I respect the hell out of that. In an age where it feels like most creators are only in it for the money or clout because they have to cater to the YouTube algorithm to stay relevant, Scott's content is a breath of fresh air, especially when considering that he's seemingly open to covering just about any topic, no matter how long or short it may be. He isn't concerned with covering hot topics, he just wants to cover whatever interests him, and since Scott knows that the audience watches the videos for him as opposed to what he's talking about, Scott can do as he wishes with his channel, which is a liberty that some creators can't say they have, unfortunately. All in all though, Scott is a versatile content creator. He can make just about any topic exciting and entertaining regardless of how mundane it may seem at first glance. He's honestly the kind of content creator you would have expected to be popular 5 to 10 years ago. Not now in the modern landscape of YouTube where everything feels so corporate. Everyone is mimicking everyone. Ultimately, everything starts to blend and it all starts to look identical. But Scott's content feels so out of place, and I mean that in the best way possible, of course. So to conclude, there will never be another YouTuber like Scott DeWaz, and I think that's why he can be heralded as YouTube's best gaming creator. Thank you for watching the video if you made it this far. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please drop it a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Once again, I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I'll see you next one. Wait a second. Holy shit! Scott DeWaz is coming to television! Well, guess I can't cancel my cable plan now, can I?